Hello everyone, my name is Kirtika and in this video I would be sharing about my experience with qualifying CSIR NET Life Sciences examination in my very first attempt without any coaching. Now coming to the fourth point, that is to analyze previous year question papers. Now how do you know that these are the units that are your strengths and these are the units that are important? So that can be done by analyzing previous year questions. And if someone were to ask me that, hey, I only have 1 month of preparation for CSIR NET examination, how can I prepare for it? In that case, I would suggest them to take all the previous 3-year question papers, analyze each and every question and study the related questions so that you can somehow get the hang of the examination. So the fourth point was, that is analyzing the previous year question papers, was something that really helped me, especially in my first attempt. So how do you analyze question papers? You take up the questions. Pathfinder also has a separate book for previous year question with explanation. So if you can get it, it is better. Then or else there are other sources as well, I think. You collect all the previous year question papers. Let's say there is one question from monohybrid cross. When you study this question, let's say you have not touched genetics book at all, this question will be completely foreign to you, right? If that is the case, while you read the question, you make sure that you go study what is monohybrid cross then and there, and then you come back and try to solve this question. And once you solve this question, create understanding on this question, then search for related question. What are the other questions that could be asked? For example, monohybrid test cross is another related question that could be asked, and you can easily cover all of this while you analyze the previous year question itself. So that is something that I religiously did each and every day. Even if I do not feel like studying, I would take up question papers, open YouTube channels and look at previous year question papers. So that is a must, and I would highly recommend all of you to do that as well. Coming for the fifth most important point, that is revision. The CSIR syllabus is very large, it is very wide, and you cannot imagine how the questions would be, right? So it is highly advisable to revise, especially when you're limiting your units to say 6 or 5 units. You should be able to have all of the concepts in your fingertips. So I highly recommend everyone to revise it minimum 4 to 5 times before you enter the examination hall. So I believe that 6 months of preparation is enough for studying CSIR, because in your BSc or MSc, the concepts that you learnt, somehow they align with the CSIR syllabus. At least you would have covered 20% of it during your bachelor's and master's. So the remaining 80% is something that you would be studying either through self-study or through coaching. Now when you study, I would suggest, especially when you opt for self-study, I would suggest you to pick up 2 units. One unit, let's say it is easier. For example, in my case, evolution is something that I love and I believe it is easier for me. So I would pick up one unit that I already know, and the other unit is something that is new to me. For example, I chose evolution and plant physiology. I'm new to plant physiology. I know nothing about plant physiology. So that is one thing that I chose. Now what I did is, in the morning I would revise the tougher subject or the subject that is new to me, the concepts that are new to me. For example, I would revise plant physiology in the morning, let's say from 5 to 7. That is more than enough. I would cover around 1 or 2 concepts maybe, or to the maximum of 5 pages only I'll be able to cover, and that is okay. It is okay to learn slow. And then in the evening, what I will do is around 6 to 7, I would switch to the well-known topics such as evolution. Now by splitting, so I will not get bored, that is one case, and then I would not flood my brain with all the new concepts, so that my brain is able to absorb all of it into the system, so that I would be able to reciprocate it. So in 1 month I will be able to cover 2 units, because morning and afternoon, nearly 3 to 4 hours per day is enough, and every day I would practice question papers related to that unit. Coming to the next point, let's say you have identified your strengths, limited your preparation units, you have also collected question papers, learned how to analyze the question papers, and you have done your revision. Now all of this requires time, right? So one primary thing that I missed out but people can do is that to start early. If you have decided to attempt CSIR NET examination, start 1 year early, start your preparation 1 year early. So I would suggest you to start your preparation in your third year of bachelor's, final year of bachelor's, or in your first year of master's itself, so that in your second year you can give up examinations. So, and I would also recommend people, if you wanted to have fun with the examination, you can also give it up in your third year of bachelor's and second year of master's itself, because you can attempt CSIR. I don't think mark sheets are necessary, the proof of your age, all of that is not necessary, I believe. So if you wanted to check at what position you are, you can always attempt examination. Though you are not eligible for qualification, you can still attempt the examination. There is no limit in the number of attempts, so you can always feel free to test your knowledge by attending CSIR examination. And those who have already completed can also try their level of try testing themselves by attempting the CSIR NET examination once you get the question papers online. Now coming to the final point which highly helped me is to minimize negative marking. Now as you know, CSIR NET examination becomes very difficult to qualify because of the negative marking. You have loaded your brain with so many information and you wanted to pour it out in the answers, so you end up believing that you are answering right, but unfortunately some of the questions, most of the questions are tricky and you might lose marks because of the negative marking. So it is always important to minimize the negative marking, and for this I religiously followed the Shomo's biology's video. There's one video where he talks about the number of questions to answer in each sections. So a quick recap on that video. So for part A, 20 questions are needed, right? It is an aptitude question. So among the 20 questions, 15 should be answered, but I would limit my answering capacity to only 8 to 12. Let's say if the question paper is easy, I would only answer to a maximum of 12 questions. Though I am eager to answer more, I am eager to fill up the 15th up to the 15th question, I would not do so to avoid negative marking. And if the question is tougher, then I would only answer 8 questions in part A. For part B, there are 50 questions and only 35 questions need to be answered. And since I told you I am not good with memory based question, and part B is related to memory, and I would only limit my answers to, let's say, 22 to 25 questions. So if the question paper is easier, I would answer 25, and if the question paper is tough, I would answer 22. Coming to the part C, this is one of the most favorite part for me because I am good at analytical, and part C is highly oriented towards analytical, and this unit decides whether you qualify or not. So it is important to focus your preparation towards this unit, and here 75 questions are given, and out of which 25 questions needs to be answered. And among the 25 questions, I generally answer around 22 to 24. If the question paper is easier, 24 questions, and if it is tougher, 22 questions. These are the 7 tips that I followed to qualify CSIR in my first attempt. One important and interesting thing that I wanted to share here is that during my first attempt, that is December 2022, where I scored All India rank 36, believe me or not, I purchased the Pathfinder book, but I only used the question bank. I did not look at the syllabus, I did not go through any of the subjects, the notes, the content. I did not study any of it. I only looked at the question papers and I only searched for related topics. Let's say I do not know a question, I would search the concept online. I would try to study it either using YouTube or either using other sources. I would try to study the topic and then I would try to solve the question, and I would try to relate the find other related questions to it. So that was my only preparation for during my first attempt, wherein I ended up qualifying. I did end up attaining the JRF cutoff also. So I believe that eventually, no matter how much ever you study, your implementation or your ability to answer questions plays a major role. So it is important that you first set your base through question papers and orient your preparation towards answering all of these questions. So that's it. These are all the points that I wanted to convey. One thing that I feel, that there are not many YouTube channels, especially in English, that are related to CSIR NET examination. So I'm planning to create videos related to the CSIR NET Life Sciences concepts and subjects. That's it with this video. If you find this video helpful, if you find any of the points helpful, or if you have any further suggestions or questions to me, please do let me know it in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.